Mike Atherton just had one of those days on Monday. The chances came and went, but in the end it seemed that nothing went right for England. But after 2 days of quiet reflection, the captain's in a buoyant mood leading into the third test.
I'm very confident we have the ability to compete with the West Indies all the way through this series. I think we saw in the last game, we dominated the first 3 days. We got into a winning position. Unfortunately, we didn't capitalise on that, and that was the most disappointing thing, the fact that we really dominated for the first 3 days and had a horrendous day on day 4, and that cost us the match.
Good evening and welcome back to Port of Spain for the third test in this 6-match series, with England of course already 1-0 down after their disappointment here on Monday. Well, they've got to pick themselves up now. They can't afford to lose here again. There's the prospect of 2 flat batting pitches to come in Guyana and Barbados, and England players know it'll be very difficult to bounce back from 2-0 down. Well, it should be a terrific atmosphere here. It's red hot. The ground is absolutely sold out. So while I cool off in this pool, which has been very thoughtfully placed here for England spectators, we'll join Michael Holding out in the middle.
Jonathan, obviously not as much water out here as where you are, but this pitch, which is adjacent to the pitch that they used for the previous test match, certainly has a bit more moisture in it. There is a fair covering of grass as well. Not as much grass as the other test match, because you can definitely see a few bare areas here. And it's a lot darker. That implies that there's a bit more moisture in this surface. A few cracks around as well, but one would not suspect that these would open up too quickly, and you would think that although there is a bit of moisture, the ball should come onto the bat, not as quickly as the previous test match. But the problem here, I would think, is just outside the left-hander's off stump again. We see quite a few cracks here, and these cracks are a lot wider than the cracks that we saw in the middle of the pitch. Obviously, the bowlers are going to follow through into this area again. Obviously, this area is going to be dug up a lot quicker than we saw on the previous pitch. Not as much grass to bind it together. So it seems as if the left-handers are going to have a few more problems again.
The toss was once again won by Mike Atherton, only this time he decided to put West Indies into bat. One change to England's side as Adam Holyoke, who has a back strain, is replaced by Mark Butcher. Mark Ramprakash, incidentally, is in bed with flu. As for the West Indies, no change to the team which won that nail-biting match on Monday. We join the action in the first over. Dean Headley is bowling to Sherwin Campbell, and there's 1 run on the board from a no ball.
Big shout. And Darrell Hare says not out. Nothing changes for England. The umpires are saying not out.
I think Darrell here has said not out because at all just hit above the roll, which more times than not umpires give not out.
There's no third man. It will race away down for 4 runs. Sherwin Campbell off the mark, not particularly convincingly, but the West Indies finished the opening over on 5 without loss. Half volley on leg stump, and Crawley will have a very long chase. Dean Headley coming around from long leg will feed him to it. 3 runs to Stuart Williams. It's a smashing delivery. That's what Atherton's looking for from Andy Caddick.
And a bit more consistently. That was a beauty. Well pitched up, just a bit of sideways movement.
Up and over the top. 4 more. It's a productive area when England are bowling. Third man. Eddie Nichols is the umpire at Andy Caddick's end, standing in just his second test.
Good movement of the seam there for Dean Headley. Ball not carrying through to the wicketkeeper though.
That's beaten Fraser this time.
Not a great deal of movement either through the air or off the pitch with that delivery, and he just pushed it through the offside.
Angus Fraser, who's coming on to replace Andy Caddick.
Down between Gully and cover point for 4. Flailing stroke by Williams.
Set the crowd alight, that one.
That's the new stand here at the Queen's Park Oval, completed in time for this match. Wasn't quite ready for the last one. It really is quite an imposing stand here.
Got him! Well done, Caddick. Absolutely the right decision now. Beautifully held low at slip by Graham Thorpe. The swing did it for the big Somerset paceman.
And just making it to Graham Thorpe, who catches it well. Loosener, just a little bit of a way shape. And well clutched.
There has been, and it's no great surprise, a marvellous reception for the captain of the West Indies. 2 tests in charge, one this series, one last year against India, victorious twice, and here he is on his home turf, never incidentally having made 100 in Trinidad in a test match. Lara's away, and what a way to go. Wonderful timing and footwork for a man who's fresh out of the dressing room. Tell you, remember that the ball has to pitch, or hit the batsman I should say, between wicket and wicket.
We were talking about him leaving this leg stump and getting over. This is pitched in line. Well, it's hard to see why that's not out.
Runs here for Lara, 4 of them. Didn't quite hit that where he meant to actually, but because it came onto him a bit slower than he thought it might, he just adjusted, closed the face a bit earlier and timed it pretty well. That's a cracking stroke. Wasn't especially short from Fraser, and it certainly didn't rush onto him.
Oh, and that's so close to leg stump. Inside edge boot and rolling back.
That passed very close to the leg stump.
Carved away by Sherwin Campbell. So the epitome of a Caribbean stroke. Giving it the full works outside off stump and picked up 4. Just a dot of cloud away over the northern ranges. Lara across again in front of all 3. And hitting it away very fine for 4 more.
Oh, how unlucky that is. Not only did it not carry, it went all on the ground, beats the middle of the bat, catches the edge, and goes for 4 runs. No justice.
So that is disappointing for the bowler. Good line by Caddick. Campbell very reluctant to come forward. Pulled away. Fraser won't get there. Threw mid off 4 more. Lara determined to entertain his home crowd. There'll probably be 3 here. But Campbell's dropped his bat, so they'll only get 2. And that too brings up the 50 partnership. It's taken 76 balls and only 55 minutes. That's a terrible delivery from Caddick, got just what it deserved. Four boundaries in the over, as well as a 2 and a 1. The overs cost 19, and the West Indies have advanced to 91 for 1. Thorpe's got him. He's catching well, Graham Thorpe, and that's a vital wicket for England, showing Campbell's innings is over, and the West Indies 2 down for 93.
I have to say that you always feel that Sherwin Campbell's going to give you a chance in this slip area. There's Angus Fraser plugging away, and Graham Thorpe again just getting it before it reaches the ground. Angus Fraser delighted, and quite rightly so.
The West Indies hero from that dramatic second Test match victory, Carl Hooper, comes out to join his captain. Fantastic costumes. Plenty more of those on view for Carnival, which is just about a week away now. Michael Holding thinks he's identified a newfound maturity about Carl Hooper. He's been a lot more consistent in recent months. He's always looked the part, always had all the strokes, never been hurried playing them. Sometimes he just flips the ball up in the air to a fielder for no apparent reason at all. In the air, and there it is! Brilliantly caught! Fantastic catch! Elation for Fraser and England. Hooper back to his old ways, just hits the ball up in the air for no reason at all, and another wicket for Gus Fraser.
Exactly what we were talking about, Bob. Here's that. Really, that's a nothing shot, but it is a magnificent catch. That is very high quality, and Mark Butcher quite rightly delighted.
Now England have 2 left-handers to bowl at. Shivnarine Chanderpaul comes in to join Lara, replacing his countryman Carl Hooper. That's shoveled away through mid-on. A lot of bottom hand in it. Tufnell just pulls it back, and they have to settle for 3.
Brings the 100 up.
Due to come in next, Jimmy Adams. Not in the pink of form, but on this surface, she should be okay.
Must have hit it, must have hit it. Now then, I think that umpire Nichols is having a chat with umpire Hare to find out whether or not the ball carried. I'm sure it did carry through to Jack Russell. Can't be any doubt, surely, about the under edge from Lara. Let's have a look. Did this carry? Sure did. I think it made it. 1 or 2 boos. That's actually the most conclusive of all the views. Yeah, it's given out. The light has gone the way of England. Brian Lara, the big man, has gone playing a stroke that he mightn't be proud of. We can spend a lot of time analysing whether it carried or not. The fact is, the ball wasn't there to pull, and Fraser, through his perseverance, has done the trick again. Jimmy Adams is the new batsman for the West Indies.
14 wickets in the series so far for Angus Fraser. Brilliant.
3 wickets have fallen for 7 runs in 36 balls. In a complete turnaround.
I hope she's wearing good sunblock.
No way to hide for poor Angus Fraser. He'll pull it back. How often does that happen in this game? Try to hide a man, try to give him a little breather, and he has to chase the ball something like 50 or 60 yards in the outfield immediately afterwards. Dean Headley continues now. Jimmy Adams in strike, and he's got it through. There's no third man. Outfield is quick, but not all that quick that the fielder can't pull it back. In fact, it should have been free. Chandapur a little bit hesitant in going for the third. So 2 runs to Jimmy Adams brings him 2,000 runs in Test cricket. 24th West Indian to reach that mark. Got off to a flying start, but in recent times his consistency has declined. A bit of a gamble by Mike Atherton this afternoon to send the West Indies in on winning the toss. Dropped it. Both hands to it. Going down. But both hands to it. And that's a chance. Dean Headley would reckon would have taken that catch 80% of the time.
Well, it's short and it's pulled, and it's not really pulled very hard. And well, Dean Headley got into position and couldn't hang on to it.
Well, when you miss, I hit. And Fraser hit that time, but not quite in line.
It just might not have done enough. It's very tight, that. That is tight. There's one thing here that I think is interesting. The umpire's head here is outside the line of the stumps. Now, I'm not quite sure that he shouldn't actually be about here, his head, over the top of the stumps, to make a fair assessment if it pitches in line from stump to stump and whether or not it's going to hit. He is actually, I'm afraid, in the wrong position.
Well taken. Well, England taking a vital wicket there. Tremendous closing catch. The captain has snatched a catch out of nowhere, and Jimmy Adams, not for the first time, goes to a catch at short extra cover.
David Williams in at number 7 for the West Indies. Caddick into Williams now. Oh, he's bowling first ball. Middle stump, cartwheeling out of the ground, and Caddick's back. Curtly Ambrose in on a hat-trick. Andrew Caddick has dismissed Jimmy Adams, and then David Williams with a first ball Yorker that homed in and cartwheeled his middle stump. Fine bowling from the Somerset and England man.
Always quite difficult to negotiate deliveries like that when you have just come to the crease. David Williams falling across the off stump and playing across the line of the ball. The line was excellent. The length was even better.
So here we are. Hat-trick ball. Caddick to Ambrose. Oh dear. Well, he was trying for the Yorker again, I think. And that is a fine over from Andrew Caddick. 2 wickets, 2 runs, and the West Indies in deep trouble. 132 for 6. Well, he's not smiling, but I'm sure he's happy. And here's Fraser. It's a good shot from Chandapur. It's one of his trademarks. Played with a lot of bottom hand and thumped through mid-on for 4. Ambrose has faced just the 1 ball, and Caddick's bowling to him. And he's off the mark with 4. Quite deliberately played down through third man. Bowled in, nipped it back and clipped the top of middle stump. This is a golden spell from Andy Caddick. and the West Indies are 140 for 7. Kenny Benjamin, next man in for the West Indies, in at number 9, with his side in strife at 140 for 7. Andrew Caddick has taken 3 wickets in 5 balls, this being the third, clipping the top of middle and off. Ambrose nowhere, just shuffling in the crease, and ecstasy for Caddick. Big appeal, and he's got to be out. Daryl Hare gives Kenny Benjamin out, second ball. Caddick strikes again. That's his 5th wicket, and Kenny Benjamin has only lasted 2 balls. Nixon McLean in at number 10 for the West Indies. And in the middle of a blitz from Andrew Caddick, who's taken his 5th wicket, as Kenny Benjamin is plumb LBW. That would have hit nothing more than middle stump halfway up. Caddick's delight is obvious. Nixon McLean's first ball, and a very confident stroke gets him off the mark. It's a long chase for Michael Atherton. And McLean off the mark with 3.
Andy Caddick certainly is on fire. Look at that batting card. The last 4 all to Andy Caddick.
Oh, that's got to be out. That's just got to be out. There is no doubt about that at all. The ball is kept low. It's pitched in line, and Chanderpaul goes LBW to the persevering Fraser, who picks up his 4th wicket.
Courtney Walsh is West Indies number 11. It's up and over from Walsh. Three to Courtney Walsh. Through extra cover it goes, though. Back for 2.
It's been the most fantastically entertaining day's cricket, full stop.
That's a big hit. Headley takes it comfortably. The end of the West Indies innings. They're all out for 159. Nixon McLean, the last man out for 11. Courtney Walsh left not out on 5. But what a day for England.
Well, what an extraordinary collapse. 93 for 1 became 159 all out. 9 wickets going down for 66 runs. And ironically, Hooper and David Williams managed just 1 run between them. Andy Caddick took 4 of his 5 wickets in 2 overs. And once again, Angus Fraser has outstanding figures. He's already taken 16 wickets in the series. So England's batsmen had to go in and face the music. We pick up play in the first over. Walsh is bowling to Mike Atherton.
No third man, so England are on the way. We'll pick up a couple here. Got it, dropped it. Brian Lara. Hooper got the rebound but didn't hold it on. That was a comfortable catch straight into the lap, and Alex Stewart survives.
Had 2 bites at this, the West Indies. Lara really should have got this. Slip catches go, it was fairly comfortable. And then Hooper had a go at the rebound, and I thought he got it for a minute. Walsh is ecstatic, then particularly upset.
That's gone. So currently Ambrose strikes. England have lost their first wicket, their captain. 5 for 1.
Well, Mike Atherton looks surprised at this. It's kept a bit low, and he's right on the back foot. There's no doubt about it being out. And look how far back he is. No doubt in Darrell Hare's mind, and he's quite right. The England captain has gone. Michael Atherton to 2, LBW to Ambrose, and England are 5 for 1.
So John Crawley comes in to replace his captain.
Courtney Walsh. Every time you watch him, you're thrilled by the timing. Bowled him. Doesn't matter about the ball. If Curtly Ambrose has got it, it can shoot through at lightning pace. It can nip back off the seam, and it can do for John Crawley.
Well, there's not a lot you could have done with this, I don't think. It's nipped back. It hasn't bounced perhaps as high as he's anticipating. It's short of a length, but that's come back a long, long way. It's flicked the pads and flicked the stumps. Tremendous piece of bowling. And probably the batsman, John Crawley, can feel a little unlucky. He's gone for 1. It's 15 for 2.
Dean Headley, the night watchman, joins Stewart to see England through to the close, and this is how that innings now looks. Stewart lucky to survive the chance in the third over, and this is how it stands. England 137 runs behind with 8 wickets in hand. For an extraordinary day's play, 12 wickets going down in all, 11 of those after lunch. I don't think any of us predicted that. There's been a superb atmosphere here all day. I think the party behind me will go on all night, quite frankly. Join the fun tomorrow afternoon, Radio 4 Test Match Special at 2 o'clock. And of course I'll be back with more highlights tomorrow night. But from a throbbing Port of Spain, good night. Friday the 13th is one of the hottest days in Port of Spain. And for the England fans cooling themselves in the temporary swimming pool, all thoughts of bad luck were dismissed as they watched the England players put on a magnificent display in the field. Fraser and Caddick are the bowlers who'll get the credit. There are some outstanding catches held, in particular those by Mark Butcher to get Hooper, and by Mike Atherton to dismiss Jimmy Adams. Hello and welcome back to Queen's Park, where preparations are in full swing for another busy day at the cricket. It was an excellent performance by England yesterday. They fought back really hard after the disappointment of losing the second Test match to bowl the West Indies out for only 159. I was particularly impressed with Andy Caddick, wicketless in the first Test here. He took 5 for 67 yesterday. But as we look at the card, we can see that Curtly Ambrose has done his best to keep the West Indies in the hunt with those wickets of Atherton and Crawley last night. And it could have been even worse for England had Brian Lara caught Alex Stewart at slip. Well, 11 wickets fell after lunch yesterday. I don't think it's anything to do with the culinary expertise going on behind me here. But if the West Indies fast bowlers are to take control of the game, they have to take wickets this morning. Thought the pitch played pretty well yesterday. The odd one kept low. And for his thoughts on how it might behave today, we can join Michael Holding in the middle.
Well, we saw yesterday that the pitch did not misbehave as badly as the pitch for the previous Test match, but yet so many wickets fell. The pitch hasn't really changed too much in nature, but the important thing now is the follow-through of the bowlers. We saw in the previous Test match the areas outside the left-handers off stump being roughed up. Well, we are seeing the areas here a lot straighter being roughed up. This area here is pretty rough. It's within the 2-foot mark. Those 2 lines beside the stumps are 2 feet wide. The bowler is not supposed to encroach within those marks outside that 5-foot line. This is fine, but this is unacceptable. This area is within those 2-foot marks and outside the 5-foot line. This should not have happened. I'm not too sure why it did, but it certainly will affect the batting for the left-hander coming from this end.
Thank you, Michael. Some interesting thoughts there, and let's now get on with the action because England's batsmen are facing a real battle. We pick up play with night watchman Dean Headley facing Curtly Ambrose in the first over of the day.
That's kept low, and Headley has lost 2 stumps. An immediate breakthrough for Ambrose. He's picked up all 3 wickets now, and England are 22 for 3.
Well, there wasn't a lot that Dean Headley did wrong there, but that ball kept a lot lower than he expected. He was right in line, but it went under the bat. Bit of inside movement as well, ball coming into the right-hander, but Ambrose again right on target. It's 22 for 3.
England vice-captain Nasser Hussain comes in to join former vice-captain Alex Stewart. Well, that's just about impossible to play. Leg cutter at about 90 miles an hour.
You'll have to say that you're unlucky to get an edge on that. That one, instead of coming back in, went away, missed the bat by at least 4 inches. Brilliant bowling.
Edge, but it's just short of Lara. That's got through. The first runs of the day, a rather sketchy boundary, but very welcome to England all the same. Big shout from Williams, and gone. Hussain doesn't like it. He can't believe the decision, but he's got to go. England now 4 down for just 27.
And I'm not too sure if that appeal was as convincing as it could have been. Nasser Hussain certainly did not like it. And I don't think that hit the bat. There might have been a sound somewhere, because they certainly went up. David Williams went up immediately. He must have heard something.
Graham Thorpe joins his Surrey colleague Alex Stewart. England on the ropes here.
Now, he might have edged that one, has he? Now, this time umpire Eddie Nichols isn't moving. And nor is Alex Stewart, who's got his hand on his hip in disdain, as if to say, give me a break, guys.
I don't think he's anywhere near that. Ball doesn't change in flight. He's a little closer than Nasser Hussain was.
Walsh tests the middle of the pitch, and Alex Stewart tests the middle of his bat. There's a good example of the sort of form he's shown us all the trip.
Change in bowling now. Long spell from the indefatigable Courtney Walsh, and he'll be replaced now by Ken Benjamin. Cracked it away. McLean gets around and makes a wonderful save. And what a return. Superb piece of cricket from the fast bowler. Found the gap. Ambrose is after it, but he won't get there. So hit the bat pretty hard, but beaten.
Thorpe looking to, well, looking to play it late. I don't think he did hit the pad. I think he just glanced the pad, but he was outside the line of off stump. It was a peculiar stroke from Thorpe.
It's gone to a Walsh, and they'll come for the second. His return is weak. So 2 runs to short, and that carries him now to 1,000 runs in test matches against the West Indies. This is his 16th test. Well, we've seen this before. Not so much in this match as in the last one. And he really would have felt that one, and will continue to feel it for some time.
It's hit him right where it hurts most.
Mike Arthur can see the funny side of it in there. Well, a change in bowling. Carl Hooper is going to come on.
Hooper's done it again. Amazing. The ball just bouncing a fraction on Alex Stewart. And all credit for Hooper for getting the line dead right. What a blow that is for England. Just 15 minutes until the lunch break, and the key man is on his way back to the pavilion. New batsman is Mark Butcher, and how the adrenaline will be pumping for him, because he's only faced one ball on this tour. Oh, well, I hope Mum's watching. Fine stroke and very good stop. My word, Chanderpaul's been alive out there this morning. Some of the West Indian fielding has been quite exhilarating.
Chanderpaul has been brilliant in the field of late. Saved 2 runs there. Young, energetic, enthusiastic.
Butcher's away. First run in the Caribbean.
Well, Walsh hasn't enjoyed that. He tried to back up, but couldn't get down to it, and England eventually pick up 3 runs. Benjamin not impressed. Batsman was very close to being run out, but Courtney Walsh in no real position to get behind the ball and stop it. Butcher's got that away nicely. That'll run away for a much needed boundary for England. Edged away past second slip. That'll be another boundary for England. Thorpe didn't like the shot, but it's picked up 4 runs for him in England. Wide of Stuart Williams in the leg slip position. Ambrose at long leg. And warm applause from the travelling England supporters. England have posted 100. 100 for 5.
Thorpe has gone for the 2nd time in this series, caught by Williams off the bowling of Hooper, and he's annoyed with himself.
This one bounced a little bit awkwardly for Graham Thorpe. In the previous test match, it hit the under edge. This one hit the top edge. And David Williams again takes the catch. He's happy, so is Carl Hooper.
Jack Russell, England's wicketkeeper batsman, is in now at number 8 for England, with a fight on his hands. England are 101 for 6. They trail West Indies by 58. Well, technical chance maybe to leg slip. It went very fast. It's got Russell off the mark with 2. Interesting to have a look at that again.
Shivnarayan Chanderpaul is the man at the backward position. Went in the air, but went quite quickly.
Oh, and that has thumped into short leg. That is very, very nasty for Jimmy Adams.
This was very powerfully hit. and went straight into that right arm. That hurt.
I hope it's not broken. This is, look at this, he's fielding 2 yards from the bat in front of square and has taken that full on the forearm straight out of the middle of the bat, and I'm not surprised he's going off. All sorts of problems there, and the misfield has allowed Russell to get in. Now, all sorts of problems in their calling and their running, these two. It was Butcher's call. Russell didn't want to go, and could so easily have been a wicket.
Kenny Benjamin now comes off here at the Queen's Park Oval, and Nixon McLean takes over from the pavilion end.
Yeah, come on.
Courtney Walsh down there bowling the return, but he is on the field, Ambrose. There's no question of him not being available. He's only had 11 overs all told, just 5 this morning.
It'd be nice and fresh for the tail, won't he? Take one more wicket.
Full address, perhaps. Well, there's good news for the West Indies. Jimmy Adams coming back out onto the field after being struck in the forearm.
You actually have to buy tickets for that, you know. You can't just turn up at any old stand and wander around the ground and dive in for a dip.
That's well played. He has been going earlier down the wicket to Hooper, and a couple of occasions he didn't quite get there, and that seemed to change his mind, and he remained crease bound. But now he's used his feet again and got it away for a good 4.
Never been afraid to play his strokes. Always scampered up and down the pitch for as many runs as he could glean from each stroke. And always very square, very strong, square of the wicket.
Good shot from Butcher through mid-on. Lara's chasing. Two more to England.
Well, it's time for Kirtley.
It's more runs here for Russell. 2 more. Ooh, what aggression. Kirtley is normally fairly unflappable, but he's got his dander up now. And now we've got Jimmy Adams with his slow left arm deliveries.
Cut it!
It's gone. Chipped it back to Adams, looking to attack, looking to be positive, but not taking enough time, and Adams has broken the partnership. Inspired stuff from Lara. Butcher's gone.
Stiff-legged again against the spin bowlers. Lara knows what he's doing here, and Butcher deceived. He departs. England lose their 7th wicket. Butcher's gone for 28. England now 134 for 7.
Andrew Caddick comes to the crease at number 9. Well, Kirtley's fired up, and he's looking mean. Plenty of parties in the stand, but no party out in the middle for the batsman. It's Lara, and that's got to be fairly close. Eddie Nichols calls for the 3rd umpire. Caddick desperate to get away from Ambrose's end. He says he's in.
Well, a direct hit, Paul, and he was a goner. The bowler had to gather the ball and break the stumps. That may have just saved Caddick's bacon.
Well, you can see the bails are 2 feet off the top of the stumps there. There he goes. So Lara's fielding, and Caddick's impatience to get away from Ambrose have caused his downfall. England are 8 down.
Well, that's reckless cricket by England. There are many ways to get out on this pitch without a run-out coming into the picture.
And Fraser has somehow, off the back of the bat, got it between second and third slip for 4.
Gus Fraser looking to dig out the Yorker and possibly poke the ball away for a single on the onside. Have a look at the bat.
Bottom bowled. Good low catch. Very simple dismissal.
Go down, pick it up. At the end of the day, a little bit of a soft dismissal. Angus Fraser's gone for 5. It's 145 for 9.
New batsman is the Michelin man, better known as Phil Tufnell, well padded up. Here's Ambrose. He's got him all over, and yet another 5-wicket haul for the great Curtly Ambrose. West Indies have taken the lead. England all out for 145, and aren't they happy?
So England lost their last 4 wickets for 11 runs, including that crazy run out of Caddick. Just 4 batsmen reaching double figures. Butcher played well for his 28, his first proper innings since September, and Jack Russell was as determined as ever. Curtly Ambrose dominates the bowling figures. He only bowled 15 overs, was very sparingly used by Brian Lara, and his bowling average on this ground is over 50 wickets at only 9 runs each. In the weeks leading up to Carnival, some of the greatest places to visit are the mass camps. These are the places where the costumes for the Carnival masquerade are designed and made. One of the biggest is the Hart's Band, where designer Gerald Hart will be making up to 4,000 costumes in his presentation called The Realm. The band's divided up into 20 sections consisting of 200 people in each will masquerade through the streets of Port of Spain on the 23rd and 24th of this month. What has become, after Brian Lara, Trinidad and Tobago's greatest export.
Yes, this is my top, and this is my skirt. Oh, this is a little skimpy.
Well, it could be said that we've had 2 skimpy batting performances so far, but let's see if the West Indies openers can build on that 14-run lead. We'll join the action in the first over. Andy Caddick is bowling to Stuart Williams.
Beautiful shot. Best shot of the day, I think. That's kept very low. Must be an inside edge, otherwise it had to be out.
I think this will be a very good decision from Darrell Hare. Angus Fraser's not overexcited about it. I think he knows there was just a bottom edge or an inside edge. Otherwise, Campbell was plumb. Inside edge, playing French cricket.
Headley fielding from mid-off. I think Andrew Caddick, Paul, has a problem with the length that he's bowling Stuart Williams.
Well, let's just compare and contrast it to Fraser. Angus Fraser is not as quick as Caddick, but he runs in and he hits the deck. He's got conviction in his bowling, and he likes to hit the bat hard. Andrew Caddick, despite 5 wickets in the first innings, just looks to me as though he's plopping the ball out, just putting it up, putting it there. It's just a hit me ball, that.
Full toss this time, that's 4.
Well, if the previous one was a hit me ball, that was just a gift.
It's a good shot. Great work by Butcher. Sherwin Campbell apologises to Jack Russell, but he was getting a bit desperate about making his ground.
Great piece of fielding this by Mark Butcher on the slide, picks up and throws on the turn. Campbell scurrying.
Williams off his legs. Fraser won't catch that. Well, that's great work. England didn't start off with a gully fielder, but they've got one now. Williams goes. Paddock eventually gets the breakthrough. And the West Indies lose their first second innings wicket with a score on 27.
Brilliant catch this. It's off the meat of the bat, it's short and it's wide, and Atherton puts two hands up above his head and the ball sticks. Brilliant work from Atherton. Williams has gone for 23 and the West Indies are 27 for 1.
Well, if anybody can make batting look an easy pastime on this pitch, it's Brian Lara. He's in at number 3 for the West Indies. Fraser can't stop it. It'll roll away to the boundary. It's a bit like Viv Richards, Paul. He loves getting off the mark with a boundary 4.
What did that hit? Had a problem with Lara in the first, given not out by umpire Darrell Hare.
I don't think it passed outside the bat, it passed between bat and pad, and perhaps just clipping the pad on the way through. That was another good decision by umpire Darrell here.
Lovely stroke, that is. Really is an example of an on-drive out of the textbook, with its clean and tidy foot movement and the lovely free swing of the bat through the line of the ball. That's a real good one. Oh, well, that's amazing. Dean Headley can't believe it. There's a look of shock on every Englishman's face. Umpire Eddie Nichols shows no interest.
England are very confident about it. Just clipping the back pad there, that's the noise. Umpires have been under pressure in this match. Very keen to pull Lara. Saw him get out that in the first innings with the under edge. Hasn't really timed this one all that well, but it's still gone for 4. Nice looking shot. That'll be his first boundary for Sherwin Campbell. And carries him into double figures. He moves to 13.
Atherton now is making a signal to somebody else to get warmed up. It's to be Angus Fraser. Oh, Fraser must have done the trick. He has. Well done, Michael Atherton, as well. The ball keeping very low and hitting Sherwin Campbell in front of all 3 on that occasion. I think that's one of Darrell Hare's easier decisions.
It's a strange shot. He did anything, sort of went back across, and that's probably one of the easiest decisions that an umpire will get in his entire career. Absolutely straight, hitting middle stump halfway up. Sherwin Campbell's gone for 13, and the West Indies now 66 for 2.
Kenny Benjamin, the night watchman, kept Lara company until the close. Those wickets both came at just the right time for England as West Indies were stretching their lead. That's how it stands, a lead of 85 and 8 wickets still in hand. Well, another 10 wickets fell today. It's astonishing, really, that this match is so far advanced. Possibly one reason could be that the batsmen from both sides have lost some confidence after the match here last week. Well, Brian Lara will be very much in the sights of England's bowlers tomorrow. You can find out how they get on by tuning in to Test Match Special on Radio 4 Long Wave at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And, of course, I'll be back with more highlights tomorrow evening. Until then, from all of us here in Port of Spain, good night. They're preparing for the biggest and best party in the Caribbean here in Port of Spain, and yesterday was the children's chance to display some of the costumes and colour that make Carnival so appealing. But while the youngsters get things swinging outside, here at Queen's Park, a member of the older generation has been showing them a thing or two about fast bowling. Curtly Ambrose yet again was the thorn in England's side as he celebrated another 5-wicket haul to become the highest ever West Indian wicket-taker against England. Brian Lara's performances against the English are well documented here in Trinidad, and if the local hero can produce something half as good today, then Carnival is likely to come early. And that lovely house overlooking the savannah is Brian Lara's home. It was built on the land given to him by the government here after his record score of 375 against England in Antigua 4 years ago. I reckon if Curtly Ambrose was a local, they'd give him the plot next door, because his record here against England is outstanding. In 4 matches, he's taken 28 wickets at an average of only 9 runs each. Yesterday, he took 5 for 25, and to think that only a month ago, he was slightly surprised to be reading about his own retirement in the newspapers. Well, thanks to Curtly's efforts, this is how the match stands at present. West Indies lead by 85. They've still got 8 wickets in hand. If they can score 200 more runs or so today, they'll be well on their way to securing a 2-0 lead in the series. Well, a long hot day looms ahead for England, but in the first innings, of course, West Indies were 93 for 1 and were dismissed for 159. The key man is Brian Lara, no doubt about that. He's yet to score a Test century on his home ground, and he looked mighty determined in the final session of yesterday. Well, who could have predicted that 22 wickets would have fallen on the first 2 days of this game? And to find out what's in store for us today, let's join Michael Holding by the pitch.
Thanks, Jonathan. But looking at this surface, I'm still very worried, still a little bit baffled why so many wickets are falling in just 2 days. This is the 3rd day, and naturally you expect deterioration. If we look at the surface, you'll see quite a few cracks appearing. There is a pretty big crack here. This is outside the off stump. That might not come into play that often, but there are 2 very serious cracks in line with the stumps. This one, I think, could be quite serious. This one is opening up quite a bit. You can see the widening of the crack in this region, and when you run your fingers over the surface, you can feel 2 different heights. Now, that can be dangerous. If the ball hits on the upside, it will certainly take off. On the downside, it might keep low. There's also another crack which is even more central, right in line with what might be mid-stump. This can be dangerous as well if the ball keeps on landing in these areas. But there are not a lot of areas like that. You do expect deterioration on the 3rd day, but I still don't think it will be too bad for batting.
Thank you, Michael. So a really crucial morning for England's bowlers. We'll pick up play in the first over of the day. No runs have been added so far, and Angus Fraser is bowling to Brian Lara.
Well, he's gone for the pull, hasn't bounced much. Stewart after it. Leg buys. Worthwhile shout by England.
I think what saved Brian Lara here was the fact that the ball was heading towards the slip corner. It was not one of those deliveries coming back in towards him. Not too sure that Brian Lara will be quite happy with these shots, though.
Go ball. And that's a bad delivery in every sense of the word. It's a no ball. It's short and wide. There's no 3rd man. Lara advances by 4 more.
Go ball.
No ball again, and 4 more. Atherton's going to have to station a 3rd man down there. He simply can't afford boundaries this early in the piece. Up in the air, Russell's after it, and takes it. Another wicket for Fraser, the night watchman's gone. The West Indies lose their 3rd wicket. They're 82 for 3.
think Kenny Benjamin was caught completely by surprise by that short ball from Angus Fraser. Not many of the England bowlers have bowled any short balls in this test match. And Jack Russell has taken a reasonably simple catch. Had to make some ground, but he got there quite quickly. Was settled under it, and a comfortable catch. It's 82 for 3.
Vice-captain comes out to join the captain. Carl Hooper missed out in the first innings here, but played one of the great test innings to win the second test match here at Port of Spain.
He's taking the mickey on the offside of the field as well this morning.
Doesn't matter how many men you put there, there's third man, there's a square gully, a square cover, an extra cover and a mid-off. If you bowl it short and wide, then Lara just hammers you through there.
That must be close. Biar got him. Just what we were talking about. The need to bring the ball back into Brian Lara. Fraser's managed to do it off the seam, and Darrell Hare has awarded him an LBW decision.
This is marvellous, marvellous bowling from Angus Fraser. He's had Lara probing around off stump, and look at this, nipping it back. It's hit him in line with middle and off at about knee height. Darrell Hare has a think about it and quite rightly gives him out. Lara's gone, the key wicket for England, and the West Indies are 92 for 4.
Shivnarine Chanderpaul makes his way to the crease here at the Port of Spain, and he's had to go past Brian Lara, who still hasn't made 100 on his home patch. Won't be far away. There'll be other considerations, but most notably the main one will be that the ball didn't come back at him at all.
Just looked to nip though. Looked as though it did him for pace. Oh, that's very close. That is very close.
And it's Fraser who will resume, and that's one in the dark. It's bright and sunny here at Port of Spain this morning. But as far as Chanderpaul was concerned with that one, the lights could well have been off.
I didn't know too much about that.
Here's Headley. He's gone. Ball creeping through. Dean Headley strikes. And Carl Hooper, with that ball-keeping logo's leg before, and the West Indies now 102 for 5.
I don't think there's much Carl Hooper can do about this. It's straight and just gone straight wicket to wicket, keeping a lot lower than he was expecting, and umpire Nichols having no problems whatsoever.
New batsman is Jimmy Adams, comes in to replace Carl Hooper. Dean Headley's first wicket of the match, in fact. Umpire Eddie Nichols this time is unmoved. Adams, a pretty long stride forward.
There's two things to consider. Is it pitched outside? No. Now, he doesn't look that far forward to me. Whether it would have hit the off stump, though, whether it was going to miss off stump, it's a fair way forward. There's still 6 to 8 feet for that ball to travel, and I think that the umpire made exactly the right decision.
Big cheer for that. Tension relieved. It's that type of match. We'll pick up 3 for it. All sorts of things happening out there. The tension is really showing. Adams colliding. Crowd cheering even 3.
There's been 2 collisions. The batsmen almost getting in each other's way. Now Phil Tufnell looking to gather the ball. He can't see where Jimmy Adams is running. And that could have been a lot worse than it was. Jimmy Adams just managing to roll out of it. Otherwise he could have made quite a mess of Phil Tufnell.
That's gone through. The gap which was left when Atherton moved third slip to that wide gully along the ground and goes for 4.
Sure that Michael Atherton will be too pleased with that.
Pretty much built a bridge over that one, John Crawley. Slowly building that lead.
Nice fielding from Mark Butcher. He worked out the line of that ball quickly and ran around it and just threatened the batsman enough to stop them running. It was lucky they didn't go because it was a good return as well.
It's twice now. Beautiful piece of timing. Plenty of bottom hand as always in Chanderpaul's strokes.
Not a bad shot.
Atherton. That's 4 for Chanderpaul. And a disappointing over for Caddick. On the first day, Andy Caddick conceded 19 runs from his first over after lunch. And today, 11. On the drive. He's come a long way down. Will he get back? Russell's got the bails off. Surely Darrell Hare will ask the opinion of the third umpire. Chanderpaul came 3/4 of the way down the wicket. It was a desperate dive back.
Good throw from Alex Stewart. And I think he's got to be struggling. He might just have got there.
That's hit the back leg. Must be very close. Well, Tufnell can't believe it. Shivnarine Chanderpaul living dangerously. First that run-out incident. Now have a look at that. He's played no shot and it's hit him on the back leg.
Well, if that's not out, they'll have to change the rules.
Lovely shot. That's the best shot we've seen for the day. Flowing extra cover drive. And probably the first ball we've seen from Angus Fraser that has offered the opportunity. Headley back. Lovely stroke again. Chanderpaul on the go here.
Just get the feeling, Michael, that this match is slipping from England's grasp with this partnership by Chanderpaul and Adams. Brilliant catch by Jack Russell, diving away to his left. It was dying on him, and Headley gets the wicket. Chanderpaul has gone, and hope again for England.
Very good catch by Jack Russell. He has been under quite a bit of pressure in these 2 test matches. Hasn't really done as well as people would have liked. But that catch means the dismissal of Shivnarine Chanderpaul. It's 158 for 6.
David Williams at the crease, coming in at number 8 for the West Indies. Well bowled by Headley. I've been impressed by his perseverance today. It's the best he's bowled in the series. It's got to be out. Got to be out. There's no question about that. That's fired in by Headley. Inspired stuff. And Williams gets a pair. Curtly Ambrose making his sedate progress to the crease. 5 wickets for him when he bowled. And he's there because wicketkeeper David Williams has gone for his 2nd duck of the match. Plum LBW to Dean Headley. This is good bowling by Headley. And there's no doubt that that was going nowhere other than middle stump halfway up. So nearly chipped back at Tufnell. Just out of his reach. 159-7. And that was the last ball of Tufnell's over. So nearly chipped back straight at the bowler. Here's Headley. Bowled in! Brilliant stuff from Headley. Pitching the ball up, getting it to seam. He's got 3 wickets now in the space of 2 overs. Ambrose has gone, first ball.
Well, it's been said so many times that Dean Headley bowls very well to the left-handers. That was a very good delivery. Well pitched up, bit of movement again, and the off-stump removed.
Nixon McLean is in at number 10 for the West Indies. They've lost 3 wickets in 7 balls. There's a bit of a habit of taking hat-tricks in county cricket for Kent. Can he do it in Test cricket? Here he is to Nixon McLean. No, he can't. Solidly forward from the West Indies bowler. Big shout there as well. Just think that wasn't doing quite the right thing. It was going away towards the offside rather than nipping back. And I think that's what saved Adams. Good bowling from Dean Headley. A golden spell of 2 overs.
Great shot. Now this is the Jimmy Adams where I remember. Driving this on the up. Again, hitting it very powerfully through the offside. Tremendous shot.
Bowler's end. They won't take the single.
Shoulder the bat there and making his ground quite comfortably in the end.
That hurt. He wasn't blocking it. He was playing an attacking shot. So it would have jammed the left hand against the handle.
He's actually pushing at this quite hard and almost punched it. And also squeezing it onto the handle. That'll be quite sore. Gloves back on. A little sore, nothing too serious, nothing broken, that's the main thing.
Adams will be looking for the single. And probably getting more than the single, getting his 3rd boundary. So Adams moves on to 31. The West Indies push on to 180 for 8.
Good looking shot. Adams back to form. It's well played by Adams. Saw the ball a little bit wider. Nice late cut. Jack Russell has to go and do the fielding. Adams into the 40s.
No slip, no backward point. Pretty safe shot. What he did was to allow the ball to come onto him, then just open the face of the bat.
Very well taken. Alex Stewart has made that position at second slip his own. Reward at last for Andy Caddick. He picks up his 2nd wicket. The end of Nixon McLean's vigil. West Indies have just 1 2nd innings wicket left.
I've done a pretty good job though, Nixon McLean, and a good catch there also for Alex Stewart. He has taken some very good ones in the slip cordon, and the Caddick at last getting some reward.
Courtney Walsh, the last man for the West Indies. It's raced away. Tufnell's after it. Their leg buys. West Indies won't mind how they come.
And so Adams slams it down the ground. It was in the slot. He's playing pretty well, Jimmy Adams, here. And what's more, he's dominating England. He's taking control of a situation that England badly need to conquer. Tries it again. Oh, and gets away with it. Bemused faces on English players. Fabulous stroke. My word, I don't think that pitching it up on an outside off stump is the answer. Gives Adams the freedom to strike the ball. Dean Headley slumps and says sorry. Crowd have roared their approval. Umpire Darrell Hare doesn't signal leg by as Jimmy Adams grins as wide as he may ever have done. This has been an outstanding performance from a very, very resourceful cricketer. Look at that. Out. Fraser's done it. Fourth wicket for Angus Fraser. The end of a remarkable innings from Jimmy Adams in the context of this match. It's the highest score of the match. Doing the right thing again, looking to hit the ball over the top. And on this occasion, not quite getting it right.
The last two pairs of West Indian batsmen added 51 absolutely crucial runs, almost a quarter of the total. And Jimmy Adams became the first batsman in the game to reach 50. That really was a skillful innings. Angus Fraser has now taken 20 wickets in the series at an average of 9. At least he'll now get his feet up before the next test at the end of next week. Headley fought back very well today, while for once Tufnell didn't take a single wicket in the game. The latest addition to the Queen's Park Oval is the new stand adjacent to the media centre. With the rescheduled test match last week, last-minute preparations were delayed until Tuesday. The planners have been working night and day over the last few days to get it done. And whilst might be a few areas not completely finished, it'll accept the paying public for the first time in this test match. There's the swimming pool to cool off in, but most significantly the stand will house the Trini Posse, who over the course of the 5 days provide the majority of the entertainment off the field. So England need 225 to win, the highest total in the match, which of course the West Indies managed to achieve in the last test. We'll pick up play with the very first ball of the innings, with Courtney Walsh bowling to Mike Atherton.
And they start off with an appeal, and not the first time we've had an appeal in this match. Umpire Darrell here unmoved, and understandably so.
That's going down the leg side. Look at David Williams behind the stumps. He's gone way over towards leg slip.
Whipped away will beat Ambrose. So the first boundary of the innings.
Well, that's the danger with bowling in this area, Michael Atherton. It's his bread and butter area.
Lovely shot. Punched away off the back foot. Great shot. So 2 boundaries in the over. England have started very positively.
You won't see a better shot than that.
Just emphasizes how difficult it is getting these type of scores in the second innings.
This is the way they're going to do it, though, by this positive running, positive stroke play. That's bounced a little bit on Stewart, and yet has dropped it into the gap between cover and extra cover. Put pressure on Sherwin Campbell.
That's a big shout. Darrell Hare's thinking about that, but decides it's going to slip on down the leg side.
Courtney Walsh bowls from pretty wide, and I think Darrell Hare's got that exactly right.
Past third slip. Benjamin trying out his football skills, but that's a much needed boundary for England. Their target to win now 197.
Shout, but that's going down the leg side. Williams was quick to leap back from the leg side to get back behind the stumps. That's the key. Good pick-up from Atherton. He's timed that quite beautifully away behind square for 4.
There's not a lot happening for the West Indies so far in this innings, and certainly that will please both Mike Atherton and Alex Stewart. Must have had serious thoughts about batting last on this pitch, but so far it hasn't really acted up too badly.
Quite deliberately played backward of point. Play those, whether you're forward or back. It's a pull drive from Atherton, and the cleans out there. He's come a lot squarer. They get 2 more, and England's 50 comes up. The 9th time Stewart and Atherton have posted a 50 partnership, and I doubt there's been a more important one.
Well, a wonderful start England have made. Atherton and Stewart play with just the right blend of discipline and aggression, and they've ensured that England have a chance of levelling the series tomorrow. And that's what England will be sleeping on tonight. 173 more to win, with all their wickets still intact. Well, we've been here before, haven't we? And I don't think we'll be forgetting the 2 test matches here in Trinidad in a hurry. There's bound to be a result tomorrow. England desperately need to win to level the series. And join us on Test Match Special, Radio 4 Longwave tomorrow at 2 o'clock to find out how they get on. And I'll have more highlights tomorrow evening on BBC Television on what will be a fascinating day. See you then. The sound of calypso filled the Queen's Park Oval yesterday as Trinidad's #1 singer, Marcel Montano, performed in front of the Trini posse. They were hoping to inspire Trinidad's #1 cricketer, but Brian Lara's innings was cut short by Angus Fraser, and the West Indies were bowled out for 210. Today, the mood on the ground will be very different as England's #1 and his fellow batsmen hope to become the heroes and keep the Test series alive. Hello and welcome to what might very well prove to be the most crucial day of the whole Test series. That might sound a bit dramatic, but England really can't afford to lose the match today. I think they'll find it very hard indeed to come back from a position of 2-0 down. Well, they were given the best possible start in the final hour of yesterday. Atherton and Stewart batting under real pressure to put on 52 runs without losing a wicket, and that means that England have to score 173 more today, and they've got all their wickets still intact. Well, it sounds easy enough, doesn't it? But bear in mind that in order to win today, England not only have to score the highest total of the match, but in fact the highest score they've ever made in any Test match to beat the West Indies. Well, we're on the 4th morning of this game. 30 wickets have already fallen so far. And to find out what England's batsmen can expect today, let's join Michael Holding, who's pitch side.
Looking at the surface of this pitch over the last 3 days, you could not really detect a reason why so many wickets have fallen. But looking on it on the 4th day, you can definitely see there's a fair amount of disintegration here. It has certainly deteriorated quite a bit. We're seeing the cracks opening up. This part is fairly firm though, not moving around. But if you look at the other areas, you'll see quite a few cracks that are quite loose in between the crack itself. These areas here are quite loose. This is actually moving around quite a bit, and even this one moves even more than the previous one. Now, there are quite a few areas like that on this pitch. If the ball hits those areas, it is bound to behave a little bit awkwardly. We haven't seen too many balls misbehave so far in this game, not so many yesterday, but I suspect that today you might see a few more.
Thank you very much, and I should have mentioned that it's Michael's birthday today. Whether he's celebrating tonight or not remains to be seen. England need 173 more runs to win, and we'll pick up play in the 2nd over of the day. Curtly Ambrose is bowling to Mike Atherton.
Atherton back for 2. Well bowled and well played. Walsh to Atherton. That's why Adams is there. It's a terrific piece of field placement by Lara, having the left-handed fielder there. If the ball goes behind square, it goes straight to the fielder. If he plays it in front of square, it's going to Adams' strong side, his left hand.
This was good fielding by Jimmy Adams.
Lovely stroke. That's the best shot of the day. It's no surprise it's been played by Alex Stewart. That runs away to the boundary. Superb piece of timing from Alex Stewart. That's David Lloyd's youngest son, Ben, 13 years of age, talented cricketer himself. Good run.
Graham Morris, one of the freelance photographers there, recording this proud moment for all those lucky girls fortunate enough to be alongside one of the great tabloid journalists of modern times. Very well played stroke. And he's coming back for 2 against a good arm. I think that'll be closer than any of us think it is. He might have just made it, but he's risking the fastest arm on the West Indian side and the youngest and fastest mover too.
Nixon McLean with the throw. It's a very good throw, and I think Michael Atherton is in. He's right. Is Clyde Cumberbatch, the 3rd umpire. He's very quick with his decisions.
Put it down. Brian Lara, the man. Stuart Williams, the man at gully, and one of the safest catches you'll ever see, has missed an opportunity.
Not had a gully for 2 overs, and he's been moved in there round from sort of a staggered 3rd stroke 4th slip to a more conventional gully, wide from Walsh. Atherton right to have a go, and he hit it hard out of the meat of the bat, and it looked to me as though Williams didn't see that. It's going like a shell, and he's put it down.
Not a bad comeback from Walsh. It's depressing for a bowler to have a catch put down and to come back the next ball and bowl a real jaffer is typical of the man. We've got our worst cloud cover really since a couple of days before this test begun. Beautiful stroke. My word, look at the timing in that. That was very special.
It's extra special, I think, because the ball didn't bounce quite as much as Stewart would have liked it to from this length. Just stayed a little bit low.
Be a couple here for Stewart. That also came a little off the bottom of the bat. But they're all good for momentum. That's 4. We'd see a square cut hit too much better. It's not like Walsh to give Stewart room to play his strokes. He has twice, and Stewart has accrued 6 from a couple of short and wide ones.
Ambrose, too late. They pick their man. Curtly has had a lot of bowling to do. He's got a long way to get down, and it was very smartly taken, that single. Cracking shot. Ambrose can't get there. That was a superb shot off the front foot. Wasn't a half volley, and well struck by Alex Stewart, who has moved ahead of Mike Atherton. He gave him quite a start at the start of the day.
There's some power gone into that shot. It's hit it straight to the ground, but even so.
There will go for 4. That's his 50, and that also raises England's 100. So yet another half century for Alex Stewart. It's his 3rd in 5 innings in the series, if we count the Sabina Park undefeated 9, and yet another half century for him. England move on to 103 without loss. Very good save. Ambrose cuts it off with his left hand. He had a long way to get down. It was travelling, and what a wonderful return as well. Tremendous effort by the big man. They pick up 2, but it looked like 4. It was really travelling. There's only been one previous century partnership in the series in the couple of tests we've had. That was a match winner in the previous test between Carl Hooper and David Williams. They put on 129 when the West Indies looked as if they were down and out. And this is beginning to look very much as if it's going to be a match winner as well for England. Oh, that's well struck. Too short from Hooper. Gave Atherton plenty of room for his favourite shot.
That's a super stroke. Full face of the bat from Stewart. Long, long chase that is fruitless. They've played very well, these two, and Stewart's starting to find his timing. Oh, yeah.
And all that stroke play has brought the waters from the heavens.
It's not heavy, and it won't disturb the players much. Well, what happened? It ran up the pad, it hit Atherton's glove. Williams was diving around to try to catch it, and Atherton said, I'm going to kick it away. It is, of course, possible to catch the ball. Drops down, and Williams then whips it out of his pad. He can claim it. It's the rain on the hills away behind us. That's the ground in there. That's the dangerous rain sort of over our left shoulder. Now, I wonder if Atherton's had a bit of luck there, funnily enough. Adams has been hit again, but that chip stroke was in the air and heading mid-wicket's way. It's a pretty nasty blow for a start. It's in the face. See, it's... Oh. Darrell Hare's moving to have a word with umpire Eddie Nichols. What they'll probably decide to do is to rush off now, get the covers on it and take lunch early. That would make the most sense, I think.
Well, who would have thought it? Rain stopped play, with England needing 103 more runs to win and all their wickets still standing. That early lunch brought the players back out on time, but with rain still in the air, Carl Hooper is now bowling to Alex Stewart, and 3 runs have been added to the England total.
Stewart's got back for 2. Excellent running by Atherton and Stewart. And England now only need 98.
Well, psychologically, that's a great milestone for the England camp.
Well, it certainly looks like we might have a few more little interruptions. That looks to me like quite heavy rain coming in on that down the side of the mountains there with the wind. You might see a couple more short little sharp showers, but I think reasonably safe to presume it's not going to rain for 2 days.
There's a big shout for LBW. Darryl Hare again says not out.
It's a big shout, but Mike Atherton's way outside the line of the off stump. And Darryl Hare not interested, quite rightly.
Great stop. Stuart Williams again.
Oh, it's a good shot. It's an excellent piece of fielding. Keeps Mike Atherton on 49. It's raining a bit heavier now. The rain coming down, the ground staff getting ready.
It looks as though another delay is inevitable. Got him this time. Atherton doesn't wait for the decision. He's on his way. Courtney Walsh has got the breakthrough. Atherton doesn't get that 50. England lose their first wicket. And they still need 96 for victory. But now only 9 wickets left.
Faintest of edges. And Courtney Walsh is delighted. Mike Atherton goes for a very well constructed 49. And England are 129 for 1.
John Crawley's long wait to come in is over. In at first drop for England. This is difficult for Crawley, not knowing whether they're going to stay out there or not.
Yes.
Walsh is very deep, and there's a misfield. They can get back for 2. Looking too good over the scoreboard area. Nice looking stroke. And another misfield. 2 costly misfields for the West Indies in the space of a couple of overs. Courtney Walsh the culprit the first time. This time it's Kenny Benjamin.
It's a little sloppy there. It's a good shot though. It's a little bit of width with this one and a little too full. That's what he's got to wait for. It's true, he's got to show patience. I have no doubt he will.
It's not bad work from Courtney Walsh there. Courtney Walsh, who isn't supposed to have a throwing arm at all, managed to whip that back in and hit the stumps, and Crawley just had a moment of panic.
Two 200 school children have been let in free today. Have a look at the final day of the test match.
No ball called by Darryl Hare as it thudded into John Crawley's back. It didn't bounce as much as he thought, but I don't think it was necessarily short enough to be ducking. Alex Stewart has 75 now.
He's had a few runs here in the last 15 minutes or so, which really shouldn't have been. The Walsh misfield, the Benjamin misfield, and now Ambrose. I suppose you could excuse him, he's had a lot of work to do and may not have realized that he wasn't being backed up. Well, coming for the second, he missed the stumps on the first occasion, Williams, but it always looked as if it's going to be very dicey here. Taken that ball and hit the stumps the first time. Looks as if it's very, very close. Hooper is in the way there of our replay. Question is if the bat is grounded. The bat's in the air. And that bat's in the air, it looks like, but it's going to be difficult for the third umpire to make a decision. So John Crawley goes run out, and it really was a silly attempt. It would have been much clearer than that had Williams managed to break the stumps with his first swish. New batsman is Nasser Hussain with the dismissal of John Crawley. Took the edge, crept along, just the pitch beginning, I would say after lunch, to look as if it's playing more tricks. Every now and again keeping low. Certainly played at its best late yesterday and early today. Oh my goodness. I think that's what Alex Stewart is saying as well. And it's beginning now to squat.
It's the original unplayable.
No ball from umpire Eddie Nichols. That was the West Indian voice on the field, off the field. There were a couple of thousand. They were muted for a long time. Well, they just sense that things are beginning to happen.
Glorious shot. Well fielded by Kenny Benjamin. Stewart just gets one. And 150 is up for England. 150 for 2. He's dropped him. Hooper has dropped a relative sitter at first slip that leapt at Alex Stewart.
Very awkward bounce, this delivery. But the important thing also is that it was not coming in towards Alex Stewart. Had no control over the shot because of the distances he is away from the ball. Look at that. Look how far away from his body he's playing. But Hooper has floored it. Well, two of the safest hands that we have in the West Indies team, Carl Hooper and Stuart Williams, and they've floored them.
He thinks he's done it. He thinks he's done it. He knows he hasn't. There is no justice. Oh, he's done it now. That is a purling delivery. Walsh has come back and got Stewart. It's a rip-snorting leg cutter, and Stewart has gone. Great resilience from Walsh.
And as you said, the leg cutter, the ball leaving Alex Stewart again. Once you bowl that line, continue to bowl that line, keep the ball going away from him. He's pushing away from his body. He has no control. But that was a brilliant innings by him just the same. He certainly played well for those 83 runs. England now 152 for 3.
Graham Thorpe comes in at number 5 for England, with the nerves jangling.
Kenny Benjamin is the fielder. Nasser Hussain is off the mark, which will be an enormous relief to him. 19 balls to do it. I think we can safely say we're going to be affected by this drizzle at some stage. It's coming from exactly the place the rain came from just before lunch. Mind you, there's not quite a stiffer breeze yet. Well, he eyed up a hit over the top anyway. It's a lovely strike. He's good at that stroke, and it's absolutely right that he should look to play it.
There's absolutely no better way to relieve the pressure than yourselves and your teammates sat in the pavilion than a couple of shots like that.
Oh, that's a lovely stroke. That is a lovely stroke. Made by beautiful footwork.
This ball was over-pitched. Don't see too many of these. I wouldn't call it a full half volley. He's punched that away on the up, but magnificent timing. I think Jimmy Adams is going to have to be a little careful here. It's an appeal. Turns a lot. It's hit the pad. I don't think it's anywhere near the bat. But Jimmy Adams then takes off and starts running at the umpire. I don't think that's quite on.
Oh, nothing you can do about that. Straight along the ground, and literally straight along the ground too. Hussain goes LBW, and there will be more tremors in the England dressing room and delight out in the middle and around the ground from the West Indian supporters.
Well, I just don't think you can play this. I don't think there's any shot in the book that legislates for that. Nasser Hussain knows he's gone. And I have to say I don't think I've ever seen the ball keep that low. Nasser Hussain's gone for 5. That's 168 for 4.
Mark Butcher, the new batsman.
That would be hitting with the spin. Just a couple of minutes till tea now, and I think they've got to make the right decision, and I think Ed Nichols has made the right decision. It's obviously going to rain heavily. Let's get the covers out here and get the players off the field.
That is a lot of water going onto that pitch now. There was an old cricket saying that rain never came to help the batsmen. The West Indies will be delighted to have a minute or so of quite firm drizzle onto the pitch.
They took an early tea, but then the heavens opened and almost 2 hours play was lost. But the game did resume with Walsh bowling to Thorpe.
Beautifully struck through the covers. Ambrose is after it. The outfield will have slowed a bit with the rain. 3 more for England. They need exactly 50 now.
Well, we'll have 4 runs for that one. Short. Wide. And Mark Butcher onto that very quickly.
40 runs required. Nice looking shot. Nixon McLean after it. Good work. Only 2. And the target's down to 38.
Just over pitching. Walsh, just a little bit of width. And that's good positive cricket from Mark Butcher. He's been waiting. He's been penned back on the back leg. Gets one to drive and makes the most of it.
It's gone for the hooks in the air. Hooper's taken it a second slip. Darrell Hare says not out. He clearly saw that it didn't make contact with the glove, and once again the umpires consult about the light. Let's have another look at this one, Ian.
It's banged in, short and straight. And that is an absolutely magnificent decision. There's a fine decision. That's come off the forearm.
And the umpires say that that's enough for today.
And there's the England card. Atherton and Stewart put on 129 for the first wicket, easily the highest partnership of the game. Hussein's delivery was unplayable, and Thorpe and Butcher have calmed the nerves by putting on a gritty 19. West Indies bowling, lion-hearted performances by Walsh and Ambrose, who'll be fresh for a final burst in the morning with the new ball only 5 overs old. And that's what England have to sleep on tonight. 38 more runs to win with 6 wickets in hand. Well, I've given up giving any predictions, but what I can tell you is after all today's torrential rain, the weather forecast for tomorrow at least is good. So join us tomorrow at 2 o'clock on Test Match Special as England try to eke out every run, and I'll be back with highlights of the final day tomorrow evening. Till then, good night from us all. The Trinidad jinx hit England again yesterday, but it wasn't a West Indian fast bowler doing the damage, instead it was the weather. In total, the England batsmen were taken off 3 times for rain, and at the end, Graham Thorpe and Mark Butcher were left a tantalising 38 runs short of their target. They added 19 hard-fought runs in the gathering gloom, and today will hope to lead England to a memorable victory. Hello and welcome to the highlights of the 5th and final day of this enthralling Test match, which once again had us on the edge of our seats yesterday. Well, after 30 wickets fell on the first 3 days, I don't think any of us thought we'd be here today. But yesterday at around tea time, it absolutely threw it down with rain, the last thing we were expecting, quite frankly, and 2 hours play was lost. So this morning, we're keeping our eye very much on that patch of sky behind the scoreboard. Locals say if it's going to rain, it'll come from there. And I must admit, at the moment, it looks rather gloomy, doesn't it? Well, there's a state of play. England need only 38 more runs to win, with 6 wickets in hand, and credit for that must go to Mike Atherton and Alex Stewart, who put on 129 for the first wicket yesterday. Well, although an England victory must be the most likely outcome today, regular viewers will know that literally anything can happen here in Trinidad. Courtney Walsh and Curtly Ambrose will be fired up for one final fling, and they're using a new ball which is only 5 overs old. So will West Indies grab an unlikely victory, or will England cruise to their target? I'm sure Michael Holding has all the answers.
Well, England have got to be odds-on favourites to win this game this morning. It's the 5th day and you expect a bit of deterioration again in the pitch, but only 38 runs to get. If we take a look at the surface, you'll still see quite a few unattractive areas here. These areas just outside the off-stump, bowling towards the Queen's Park Pavilion end. The cracks there, they are crumbling, a few loose areas within the cracks. And this area, the ball has been pitching in quite often, and a few have been taking off and a few have been keeping low. If the West Indies are going to win this game, they'll certainly need a few more deliveries like the one that Carl Hooper bowled to Nasser Hussain that got that wicket. If they don't have deliveries like that, if they don't have a lot of luck, England should continue and win this game.
Thank you, Michael. Well, as we expected, it rained and held up play for 45 minutes, during which time we spoke to the umpire, Darryl Hare.
The ground staff told me that the forecast was just for showers clearing after lunchtime. The pitch and surrounds are quite good, and the covers seem to do their job. Yesterday, just beside the pitch there appeared to be some very boggy patches when the rain finished, but by the time they cleared it up, the covers up, it was fine. So it obviously can take a fair bit of water in the outfield and surrounds.
Well, some positive news from Mr. Hare. Play was held up for 45 minutes, and we joined the action in the first over after that. Ambrose bowling to Butcher, and 1 run has been added to the total.
The ball's got a pitch in line, Curtly.
They have to realise by this that it's going to be pretty difficult to get an LBW decision with the ball pitching outside the line of leg stump. It should be impossible. It's never ever impossible in this game, but it should be. Umpire should never ever give it out, although we do see mistakes being made.
There'll be 2 here for Butcher. England will see that as a very good first over for them. They've reduced the runs required by 3. So applause for England's efforts, but vocal support for the West Indies. This gentleman demanding a wicket from Amby. That's Curtly Ambrose. Ambrose to Butcher. No runs here for England. Walsh can't get there. It's 4 leg byes.
Just slightly off target with this one, Curtly Ambrose. Again, the ball pitching outside the line of leg stump. Certainly would have carried on to the stumps, but not quite the right line. Well, however they come, England will welcome them. He's disgusted with that, Curtly Ambrose. He knows what he has done wrong.
A louder appeal from Ambrose.
Same problem again, pitching just outside leg stump. Would have carried on and hit the stumps, but he's left-handed.
Useful 28 in the first innings and now 11 not out. It's a very good run. Thorpe was out of the blocks very quickly.
This is good running. Both of them really hustling. That's Graham Thorpe going to the wicketkeeper's end. Had a bit of a head start, but still had to hustle.
No stroke played. Thorpe's gone for it this time. Picked his fielder well. Kenny Benjamin can't stop the single. England's runs required now in the 20s.
With Brian Lara coming into that mid-off position, it always leaves a fast bowler somewhere in the covers. It was Nixon McLean in the previous over. Now it's Kenny Benjamin.
Big shout this time.
And Nichols coming under quite a bit of pressure here again with these LBW shouts. That is him in line with the stumps, but again pitching just outside line of leg. That is the problem with these deliveries. Again pitching just outside leg and going across the batsman. It's pretty difficult to get an LBW that way, pushing the ball across the left-hander. You have got to pitch it in line and get it straightened.
Flicked away by Butcher. He'll come charging back for the second. And he's made it. 27 required. Campbell's very quick. There'll only be one. Great work by Sherwin Campbell. Just about the fittest man in this West Indies side. Thorpe's getting back for the second.
Loud cheers again for a couple of runs. They know they are creeping close to the England supporters.
Those 2 runs brought up the 200 for England, 201 for 4, 225 the target. Still some threatening weather around. Williams has got him. Ambrose gets the breakthrough, and it's Thorpe who's gone. Thorpe dismissed for 19. England aren't home yet. They're now 5 down for 201, and tantalisingly 24 runs still needed.
Well, Curtly Ambrose switching the line. Immediately that ball pitching in line with the stumps, going across to the body of the left-hander. He has to play. Gets the outside edge, and David Williams does a very good job. Graham Thorpe falls for 19. It's 201 for 5.
Another left-hander comes in to join Mark Butcher. It's Jack Russell, England's wicket-keeping all-rounder.
A bunch of nervous English supporters. I tell you that those two gentlemen have flown over just for this game. In the air, got away with it. Moments like that are mighty important. I bumped into Courtney Walsh in the lift, and he said things weren't going his way so far in this series. He mightn't be wrong.
Well, that's one of the few balls we've seen get quite big. And not only did it get quite big, it got quite big at pace, which is something that we haven't seen a lot of.
Well, Walsh got very excited there, but he must know that that's pitched well outside leg stump.
Well, I mean, Jack Russell hops around a bit, but this has got a pitch at least 6 inches, 9 inches outside leg stump. So it's all very well, it's going to hit the stumps, yes, but the rules state quite clearly that if the ball pitches outside leg, it cannot be adjudged LBW. Darrell Hare having nothing to do with it.
One cloud is coming from the area that Michael Holding, our resident weatherman, seems to think is the dodgy spot. He's leaping about the place, giving us reports just in front of me here. Good bit of timing from Russell, and it'll get him 2. Just a little nudge into the leg side. Gets the target down to 18. What we have now, though, is rain. Now the ground staff are concerned. You can tell just by the fact that they've dressed fully up in the yellow oilies. Actually, it would be a shame for everybody if they came off now. Russell is pushing hard for the second, but Walsh has done well. For a man with a dodgy throwing arm, that underarm flick has worked nicely for him.
I think the umpires have made the right decision here. And the sun is out there. There's still a little bit of rain in the air. And that has gone. Luckily, that's gone round the back. It's what's coming from the right of that picture. And that looks a lot more promising. There's a bit of sunshine out there.
In the air. Question is, did it carry? Now, Stuart Williams caught it, had a little jog in, and then I think as he began to jog, he thought, no, I've got to be honest, I did not catch that ball.
It seems to be a tennis ball bounce, and Jack Russell was trying to leave it. And Stuart Williams, his reaction, tremendous. And then he realises that I've taken that on the half volley.
Courtney Walsh. Again now to Mark Butcher. Missed. Might have gone if he'd hit. And Jack Russell's just got to calm down a bit. He'll get Mark Butcher frantic. It's unnecessary.
It's all real Jack getting himself going, Jack Russell, but what he mustn't do is get his teammates dragging them all over the place. Mark Butcher would have been out if that had hit, and that would have been totally unnecessary.
Also pitched outside leg stump. I think we must make the point, you know, it was a bit like John Crawley's run out yesterday, Ian. You know, when you're chasing a low score, a run out, a risky run, is immaterial. It's just, you know, they're going to burn enough good balls that might get you out without adding run-outs into the equation. The benefit of a good line. We see it time and time again.
That's a terrific delivery. I'm a little surprised it took Ketley Ambrose as long to come round the wicket this morning.
I'm sure Kirtley enjoyed that.
Well, if you're going to flash, flash hard. He gets the edge. Make it as difficult as possible. The bounce there that Curtly Ambrose gets in the carry. Tremendous performer, isn't he?
It's worth 2 more. Even the merest nudge is getting raucous applause.
There's many a run scored in the grandstand.
Well, there's a new job for the England captain, Michael Atherton, down there acting as the sightboard attendant. Now what's that fallen over? Something's come out, gloves come off. I've never seen that one before. But of course, being Jack Russell, you'd have to pick him for it to happen to.
It's very idiosyncratic with his equipment, Jack Russell, but it's, not the newest pair of gloves either, those. Not quite sure how that's happened.
They'll have to, there's yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. And in the end, very lucky to get in. Chandapal, perhaps the fastest and the best fielder on the West Indies side, was onto it.
Russell played this shot almost on the run, as though he knew where he was going to put the ball, then set off, then stopped. And Butcher, meanwhile, had scampered. Here he goes. Now there's the stop. And, thankfully for England, both men are in. Butcher a bit hesitant.
Would have been out had the ball hit the stumps. Caught. Hooper takes the catch. England are 6 down. It isn't over yet.
Good bowling from Ambrose. He targeted Russell round the wicket for the last couple of overs and finally got his reward. Good catch by Hooper as well. That didn't get up much.
New batsman is Andy Caddick. So now the slips come in. 3 of them now, and a short leg for Caddick. Pressure is told. They've got 2 wickets. Now they're into the tail. Edged it. First ball. Ambrose strikes. Not for the first time in this match. With wickets with successive balls. 213 for 7. 3 wickets to go. 12 runs to win.
Searing delivery from Ambrose, really running in, banged in short, got the bounce, got the edge and got the catch. Great stuff from Ambrose. Caddick's gone for naught. England 213 for 7.
And Mark Butcher now has enormous responsibility on his shoulders. So does Dean Headley coming in now.
Big moment this for Dean Headley. Came good with the ball in the second innings for England. Now can he come good with the bat? Survives the hat-trick ball.
The tension is showing all around. Off the field as well as on it. Ambrose now comes around the wicket, remembering how he got Headley in the previous test match. Caught behind, delivering round the wicket. He'll try the tactic again. 12 required for England. Now 11. And they'll come back. They'll have to hurry, and they do. Frantic running. Down to 10 now.
Nerve-jangling stuff here.
Lara at mid-on. And Butcher on strike and under enormous pressure. Walsh the bowler.
That's close. Umpire here reckons it's not close enough.
Well, that was close. It was a huge appeal by Walsh and Williams. The point of contact is outside, off stump. It's very much a run-saving field, this, when Lara needs wickets. A brute of a ball from Walsh. Bouncing and nipping back. Butcher just allowing it to hit him. Can't bear to look, Michael Atherton.
Just the one. 9 to go. And it does bring Mark Butcher into the strike now.
That's a big appeal. But it's going down, ball from wide on the crease. Well, I think he might have got an inside edge on it. Well, pad first. Well, bit of a nervous laugh, I'm sure.
Still, it's one of the few occasions I've seen somebody bite his fingernails while smiling. So very good running between the wickets. It means also that Mark Butcher will have the strike with England, requiring another 7 runs to win the match, and just 3 wickets remaining.
And just 1 run, 6 needed.
Well, England will be looking for every possible run. I think Dean Headley has shown that he is capable of defending.
It's a good stroke from Headley. A sensible stroke. He didn't try to hit it too hard, and he'll get 3 for it.
Well, I don't think Dean Headley would have made 3 more important runs in his entire career.
Very close. Very, very close indeed.
This is good bowling by Courtney Walsh. Well pitched up, coming in towards Butcher, and I'm not too sure why that isn't out. That is very much on line of off stump.
Very well run. Very well run. Headley's quick, and he was going to the danger end, but he'd started on the back foot, having played the defensive stroke. He just ups it a bit halfway down when he sees that there's a chance with Campbell. Butcher made the call. No ball called. The scores are level. The West Indies can no longer win the match courtesy of that no ball. They could still tie it.
And to think that Eddie Nichols has called a no ball at this stage, well, a lot of West Indians would be saying, why has he called a no ball here? It's simply because it is a no ball.
1 needed for victory. Curtly Ambrose to Mark Butcher. England have won it. England have won it. A margin of 3 wickets. How's that for a smile? Mark Butcher is the hero, but West Indies have heroes too. Brian Lara is one of them. Ambrose and Walsh are the others. The series is level at 1-1. Good to see Alex Stewart up there. He's the hero of England's batting in this game for me. Dean Headley has shown a calm head under pressure. An impressive match with the ball this time round as well. 4 wickets in the second innings. He's unbeaten with 7 here and 11 nerve-jangling deliveries faced. The West Indies can hold their heads high. They've contributed to a fine occasion. There is no disgrace in losing this match. Admittedly, with some level of anticlimax. Nothing David Williams could do, Michael.
Not really. That ball was supposed to have carried through wonderful to him. It was a bouncer, banged in pretty short by Curtly Ambrose, but again we see the pitch not really offering consistent pace or bounce. David Williams definitely struggling, and the elation for England. Mark Butcher really fought hard for this victory. Dean Headley started to celebrate long before he got to the other end. He knew it was over.
And that picture says it all. I've never known a test match like it, and the tension in that dressing room must have been quite unbearable. Angus Fraser has had the most amazing series, 9 for 80 in this match, 20 wickets at an average of 9 in all, and he was the man of the match. And that's how England got there, their highest ever total to beat the West Indies batting in the 4th innings. Butcher had an excellent game. He and Thorpe put on 33. A flutter before lunch with Russell and Caddick out with consecutive balls, but Headley and Butcher saw them home in the end. What a Herculean effort by Walsh and Ambrose. Only they bowled today, and Ambrose in particular kept West Indies in the hunt. And there's the result. The series now level.